A couple of my former coworkers have officially and formally requested that I tell y'all this story, but let me tell y'all about a wholesome moment I had with some of my inmates. This was one of my very first night shifts in corrections, and at the time I was working under a supervisor that both the officers and the inmates did not like. Now, I'm not trying to speak bad about or hate on or shit on this particular supervisor, because since I have left that agency, me, him, and the other people that were on that shift at the time, we are all pretty good friends now. But at the time, it's about 4:30 in the morning, I'm serving breakfast, and I have the breakfast trustees with me helping out. And I was the type of officer that even though you were locked up, you are still a human being. So I'd cut it up with you all day long, but you bet your ass, if you got out of line, you were gonna get some redirection. Me and the trustees are sitting there laughing and shooting the shit while we're serving breakfast. And I don't remember what it was that I did, but next thing I know, my supervisor is down at the tanks and he is lighting into my ass. He wraps up the ass chewing, I say yes sir, and he goes back to booking and I move on to the next tank. And my trustees look at me with the saddest faces I have ever seen and they go, "Miss, we are so sorry you have to put up with that." I tell them it's fine, y'all don't worry about it, and we serve chow to 2 more tanks. We get to the last tank we need to serve, and that tank was actually the trustee tank, so they were all awake waiting on breakfast. That little tidbit is going to be important here in a second. Our trustees were actually allowed to carry their trays into the tank instead of me having to serve one by one through the food slot. So I go over to the vestibule door and I press the speaker button and I make this motion for control to open the tank door. The door rolls and I open it so that way the trustees can carry the trays inside. And I turn back around and my supervisor is standing there in the vestibule. He starts in on me again, yelling, screaming, calling me every name in the book, and just not acting how a supervisor should act at all. And my trustees were not having it. And I think I had 9 trustees in the tank. I know I had 3 out with me, but every single one of them that was in the tank stopped eating their breakfast and they came to the door. And all of them, including the 3 I had out with me, were very quick to set his ass straight. And I cannot confirm or deny, but they may or may not have let him know that he was not going to speak to me like that, and if they ever caught that shit again, there would be consequences. I came in the next night, and all 12 of those trustees had written a grievance to admin about my supervisor and the incident, and they also wrote letters detailing what kind of officer I was, how good I had always treated them, and they did not feel that I should have to put up with that any longer. They absolutely and 110% had my 6 all the way through, and it was because of their grievances and letters I wound up getting moved off that shift. I left that agency not long after that, and like I said, me and the supervisor, we're cool now. But I still think about that to this day, and I think it just goes to show that not all inmates are bad, and that if COs treat inmates with human decency, they will have your back every time.